first you have to get to Brazil, and then you have to kind of like get to the border of the Amazon rainforest, and then you have to like trek into this kind of protected part of the Amazon.
Mm.
And, then you finally get to the tower. And of course, I read all about it and I'd seen photos of it and everything, but actually being there was so different. And there's no elevator. You have to climb it yourself. There's no like proper protective barrier. It's kind of like one of those, like ladders a utility worker would use to reach a tall telephone pole or electrical wire, except much, much, much taller. And so you have to be harnessed onto this railing, and you climb up these steps, and
Mm.
there are large gaps everywhere that you could fall through. So they're very concerned about anybody either being physically incapable or psychologically incapable of making the journey. And they ask you over and over again, are you sure that you're not afraid of heights? Are you sure that you can do this? And they ask you so many times that you kind of start to lose some confidence because you start to question yourself and doubt whether you can actually do it. But I went with a group of like 6 or 8 scientists and grad students, so different ages, different experience levels, and we all went together. And it was actually very exciting, I found, to sort of see the rainforest at so many different levels. Because even if you're trying to get a glimpse from like a plane window, you can't really appreciate it or enjoy it the way you can if you're actually standing on this massive tower. You could just sort of take your time and take it all in. And as you're climbing, you can see the moisture coming off of the trees and off of the forest, and you can see the clouds above you starting to form because you usually start pretty early in the morning. So you can actually see the whole process of rain generation, happening around you. And when you're at the top, you cannot see the borders of anything. It's just trees, as far as you can
Mm.
see. It just keeps going, right? So you really get this sense of this forest that literally spans a continent, like it's stretching across the entirety, the entire width of South America, essentially. Then there comes to a point where you have to start making the journey back down, and it's kind of like after doing a really long hike, your legs are kind of jelly-like, they're not working very well, but the clouds are so much thicker, and you don't really want to be caught on the tower when it actually starts to rain because it's a massive magnet for lightning. Obviously, it's a lightning
Mm.
rod, so you really don't want to be on it when it's actively thunderstorming. So you have to kind of get back down before the rainstorm begins. So yeah, it was really an exciting experience, and it became an important inflection point in the book because it allowed me to kind of literally physically see and experience many of the things I've been
Mm.
writing about and researching, and sort of bring that all back together and say, here, this rain and these clouds and the soil beneath us, all of this was created by life or influenced by life in some way. And
Mm.
so, actually experiencing that was very powerful for me. And it took me 2.5 years to get there because that tower and research station was shut down during the pandemic. And actually, that was actually a
Mm.
blessing in disguise because if I'd gone too early, I don't think I would have appreciated it as much as if I'd gone when I did and I'd done so much more research, and could actually understand things a lot better.